Well, good morning, everybody. It's June the 10th on Monday, 2013. We used to say this is Weber on Sports, but nope, we're saying something different this morning. Good morning, everybody. We're introducing a new name for this show. Same old dog, but a new name. And we're calling it Weber This Week. The reason we're doing that is so we can open up the show for different types of guests involving politics, involving charities, benefits, you name it. We'll talk to anybody who wants to come in the studio. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Weber This Week, our brand spanking new name for this program. And it's always great to introduce our new show name with a longtime friend of mine, family friend and golfing buddy, Brad Jones. Brad, good morning. Welcome to our new show format.
Well, good morning, Harold. Thanks for having me back.
It's great to have you back. Brad, of course, the new chairman of the town of Seneca Falls Republican Party. And I guess right out of the box, Brad, when did you assume this office?
Actually, Harold, it was in the March-April timeframe of this year. The committee approached me to lead the Town of Seneca Falls Republican Committee, and I'm very thankful for that honor.
I guess the question is, why take on the new responsibility? You got a lot of things working behind the scenes. You're involved with the family an awful lot. You like to play some golf, obviously. Why take it on?
Well, I think personally, I love Seneca Falls. I love our community, and I believe in the Republican ideals and principles of the party, many of them being fiscal conservative spending, less government, a discussion item that's in front of the committee as well as in front of the community, or term limits. So it's something I want to give my time to, recruiting new people that may be interested in running for political office but don't truly understand the process. So I'm here to help, and I have a pretty good sized committee. We're a team of 16 individuals.
Wow. Why don't you run down the committee, if you would, since obviously we want to give respect to those folks as well.
Yes. The 16 committee members, Town of Seneca Falls actually has 8 voting districts, and there's 2 committee people for each district. The district you and Mary live in, District 1, the district Debbie and I live in, District 6, including the town has Lower Lake Road, District 7 and 8. The members of the Republican Committee are as follows. Jerry Graziano, who's the pastor of the Finger Lakes Christian Church. Amo Bovey, who is presently on our town board and a local practicing attorney. Carmina Russo, a fellow 1969 graduate of Minders Academy like myself. She's also our secretary-treasurer of the local town committee. Tina Lotes, a familiar voice, familiar person, county clerk. Also Nikki Greer, who is our town clerk here in Seneca Falls. 2 individuals, Kathy and Becky Peterson. Kitty is known as Kathy, or Catherine. She is the executive secretary at the county level for the Republican Committee, working for Sue Ann Fisher. Becky Peterson is now Becky Spannel, and she works at the county offices and soon to become part of the Fayette Town Committee. Stephen Turkett, a well-known name in the community, Code Enforcement Office here at the town, along with Tony Costantino, former mayor, local barber. T.J. Casamasima, another town board member. Chuck Laverne Laffler, a county supervisor at large, retired policeman. Good old Frank Senacropi, just retired from the county as our HR manager. Mike Mearis, lawyer with Medei, Mearis, and Steve Rickey. And last but not least, Nick Ciotti, our county treasurer. So as you can see, it's a great team. We do everything together. We work by consensus, and I'm glad to be part of it.
Brad Jones is our guest this morning here on the Weber This Week show. That's right, new name, same old dog. Sorry about that, gray hair, beat up dog. But we got a new name. It's called Weber This Week. We're going to be bringing guests from all across the platforms of discussions. After Brad leaves today, we'll have Frank Nietzsche, my Dr. Frank Nietzsche, my good old pal who plays golf at, I think me and Jones and King play early. They play much earlier. They play like at 6 o'clock in the morning with Sweet Lou DiLorenzo. But Frank Nietzsche will be in next week from the New York Chiropractic College. He leads that effort, obviously oversees the entire operation there. Looking forward to talking to him about the college. That'll be next week as well. Speaking of that, and let me remind our viewers this morning, it's good to be with you on a Monday. U.S. Open, if you're a golfer, you're looking forward to Thursday when they tee off at good old famed Marion. We're going to have a few sports comments at the end. But thinking about Brad being in as the chairman of the town of Seneca Falls, I want to remind everybody we want to give equal time and equal opportunities in this show. If you represent the Democrats, the Independents, the Tea Party, the Communist Party, I don't care what party you represent. If you would like to come on this show and give us your views, talk about your folks, etc., we are opening. The doormat is always open. We have a welcome mat for anybody that would like to come in for another party. I don't want you to think that because Brad and myself are buddies that the only reason he's in here is because he's friends of mine, and we're only going to restrict that to Republicans. Not the truth. Anyone who represents any party of any affiliation, myself and Jim Senecropi, welcome you to schedule a date, and we'll be more than glad to have you in here and talk about it. So I just want to clear that up before we continue. Brad, as you look forward to Election Day, November 5th, coming up this year, what positions can our viewership look forward to here in Seneca County that are up for re-election?
Well, actually, the Republican Party at both the county and the town level have a full slate of candidates, and that's very exciting. Maybe to lead off, the county committee has endorsed Dennis Bender to be our county judge. Dennis has done a terrific job. I believe this is his third term. Barry Porsche, running for the second time as our district attorney, and Nick Ciotti, a long-time county treasurer.
Nick's been there a long time.
A long time, and just a great individual, very friendly when it comes to requests that are sent in. You really don't have to go through a FOIL process when you talk to Nick Ciotti. He is truly the county treasurer for the people. Another interesting race is county coroner. There's two individuals that are running. We actually have four county coroners, but in 2013, a gentleman from down south, Paul McPherson, along with a new person just entering the political process, and that being Deb Kelly. Used to be a fellow graduate of mine, 1969 Miners Academy as well, Carmina, myself, and used to be Debbie Moody. It's her first run for office, and I wish her very well. So those are the county positions. Town level positions, also very exciting. Just in the past couple of weeks, the town committee has endorsed two individuals for county at-large supervisor seats. As you know, we have 14 supervisors at the county level, one being our town supervisor, Don Earl. To assist him in town matters, we have two at-large supervisors. The gentleman we have up, also another new person entering politics, is Tony Anthony Coriel. I think you know Tony.
Sure.
He lives on our street here in Seneca Falls, but more than that, he is a successful business owner, McDonald's here in Seneca Falls, and I thank Tony Coriel for stepping up and wanting to run. Also, Greg Lazaro, somebody that's been heavily involved with the community, whether it's been with the Republican committee in the past, also on the school board, I believe, for something like 9 years, was also president of the school board, somebody that's truly involved with our community. So I'd have to say we've got two good candidates. Now, you may ask a question on why not Chuck Lafler. Well, Chuck has made a decision to run for town judge. I want to thank Chuck for doing such a great job at the county level, but there are two seats, one being his, being available, as well as another. So Tony Coriel, Greg Lazaro for county supervisor at large. A little closer to the town of Seneca Falls, we have two town council positions that are open. The two gentlemen there, one may surprise you, another person entering politics for the first time, and this is what's exciting about the Republican Party. We're reaching out to try to get some new people. We have some seasoned veterans, but good old Chad Sanderson. I think it's great to have Chad on board. I know with the dissolution of the village of Seneca Falls, there was a concern that there wasn't town people on the town council, so to speak. Chad being down on Route 89, he'll bring that flavor. The concerns of maybe the people down at the Lower Lake Road. Chad Sanderson, his first shot at becoming a town council member, along with Tony the Barber, Tony Costantino, former mayor. Tony's very interested. He wants to stay involved in politics. He's done a good job in the past. So once again, I think we've got good candidates, not only at the county, but also at the town. Some exciting news that just broke last week I'd like to share with your listeners is Dwayne Moore. Dwayne Moore has made a decision to come back to the Republican Party. Dwayne and I will be going up to the elections office later this week to have him sign back on with the Republican Party. So we're very excited to have Dwayne back with us. I think he, like most Republicans, less spending, less government. I think he sees the new team in place, and I want to personally thank Dwayne for making that decision.
Let me ask you something on a much broader issue. Certainly, I needled Chad Sanderson because I picked Obama to repeat, and he picked Romney, and I won $1, which, by the way, is not a lot of money. But what's your view nationally, looking at the global, the big picture? It appears the Republicans are struggling to get back to supremacy in the White House and to get some of those key positions. I know Obama's on his second and last term, but what's your feeling about that? Do you think that the Republicans in the national scene have just become disenchanted with some of the voters nationwide?
I think you may be right. Some people may say that the Republicans don't get it. I really can't worry too much about the national level.
Right.
I think here in the town of Seneca Falls, what we should worry about is spending, retaining jobs, bringing new industry in, filling the storefronts. I think the saying goes, all politics is local at the end of the day.
Right.
I think the other thing, too, at the national and state level, it seems like people are so involved with the social issues today. I think where we want to focus here at the county, as well as the town of Seneca Falls, are the fiscal issues. We need to get back to what the budget's all about, how we can lessen taxes. But, yeah, the national and the state level, although we're involved, today we're here focused on the November elections right here in Seneca County.
Okay. Talk about the town, Judge. You mentioned there are possibly 3 candidates running for 2 part-time seats, and there's talk of a primary. Give us an overview on where that is.
Yeah, very interesting. Just to explain to the listeners, the town judge, Judge Joyce Mahoney, does a great job. The town board has made a decision going forward, the first of the year, 2014, is actually to have 2 town judges, part-time, where they can back each other up. We have a very, very busy court system here in the town of Seneca Falls.
You sure do.
And the exciting news is when the committee met, we didn't feel we should endorse any one individual because all 3 that are seeking the seat truly qualified to become a town judge. Judge Mahoney has put her hat in the race. I'd mentioned Chuck Laffler. Chuck is a former policeman, somebody that's been very heavily involved with the community through the county board. He's been county chairman for a number of years. Chuck has always wanted to be a judge, so he also qualifies. And a third name, T.J. Casamasima, a good friend of mine, someone that's worked in the court system all his life. He's currently serving on the town board here in Seneca Falls. He's put a lot of effort in. He also has a career goal to work in the court system. So rather than endorsing any of the 3, we felt the best bet is to go to primary and let the voters, the Republican voters, make that decision. And that primary will take place in September of this year. So the 2 top people winning the primary will go on to the general election this coming November. I wish all 3 well.
Okay, very good. Brad Jones is with us this morning on our new show name, Weber This Week. Brad, of course, the new chairman of the town of Seneca Falls Republican Party. You got some events coming up. You mentioned on some of the notes you sent me relative to some get-togethers for Republicans. You say the young Republicans and are now meeting on a regular basis. Run down the events that are scheduled down the road.
Yeah, let's touch a little on the young right. Republicans. I want to give credit to Jerry Graziano. He's really pushing hard as one of the committee members, not here just at the town, but also at the county, to get the younger generation involved. Mm-hmm. There's a gentleman, Jason Swartley, who is now the leader of the Young Republicans. It's kind of like under 40. You've heard that, business under 40
I
members.
Can't remember when I was under 40, but...
well, in your case, Webb...
it's a long time ago.
We probably should get an old age Republican party. Anybody...
Yeah. Anybody 68 or over.
Whoa, I don't qualify for that, but I didn't realize you were that old.
68, yeah.
But this Young Republicans is really taking off, and I want to say it's a committee of about 15 to 20 individuals, but stay in touch. If anybody here is listening today that would like to get involved with the Young Republicans, feel free to give me a call at 315-568-6855. I'd be willing to get them pointed in the right direction.
And you got a Republican picnic coming up on Saturday, June 15th?
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. I have to give credit to Sue Ann Fisher, who is our county Republican chair. Sue Ann and her committee's working hard this week. It's actually much more than just a Republican committee. It's another way of giving something back to the community. It's really a Flag Day picnic, and all veterans and their families are invited free. It's going to take place from 11 to 5 this coming Saturday, June 15th at Vince's Park. Mm-hmm. We have the 2 outside pavilions. There's going to be a number of games for children. For anybody else, it's $5 per person or $10 per family. So just another example where the Republican Party's trying to take the lead on doing things for the communities, doing things for the veterans. Another exciting event soon to be coming up is the annual Republican Golf Tournament. Mm-hmm. That's going to be held down at the Seneca Falls Country Club Friday, August 2nd. Leaders setting up that tournament, Sharon Secor, Tina Lotz, Nick Ciotti. I've been told this may be the biggest tournament this year.
It's great.
Republicans are getting out, working for a good cause, and hopefully a lot of our candidates running in November will take part. Last but not least, the annual dinner. Just got news last week that that's going to be held at NYCC on Friday, October 2nd, actually October 4th. That's something we like to get all the candidates together. We're going to have a guest speaker. It's about a month before the general election in November. So whether it's Young Republicans, the Flag Day picnic, the annual golf tournament, the dinner, you can see the Republican Party is alive and well.
Well, that's great. Before we take a commercial break and then I come back with a few sports notes, I would be remiss, since you're so involved in Indian issues relative to fairness. That's always been your theme, one word, being fair across the board. Give me a short rebuttal as far as where do you see the Indians situation. I know Governor Cuomo is involving casino packs. He's got to get approval from his legislature, but I would guess that'll go through. What's your feeling? What's been happening behind the scenes regarding the Indian situation?
Well, as you know, we talked quite a bit about it on the golf tournament, and the situation here in Seneca County, which is closest to my heart, and I want to compliment our County Board of Supervisors, all 14 of them. They stand united, and when I say united for the taxpayers, as you and Jim know, about 7 to 8% of our taxes are not being paid by the Cayuga Nation. With that said, in about the last 8 to 12 months, it's been too quiet.
It has been quiet, yeah.
And it concerns me. The Cayugas actually owe about $1 million in unpaid taxes. It seems to be that phrase that I use occasionally when I've been on former shows is it's the time of deflection. It seems like right now, whether it's our state leaders or our federal leaders, it seems to be, well, everything's with Andrew Cuomo. And there is a lot going on with the Oneidas and the Mohawks and all the casinos being put together here in New York State by Governor Cuomo. But the thing that makes me not concerned, actually, I think it makes me feel pretty good, is nothing's being said about the Cayugas. Because at the end of the day, there is no federal reservation here in Seneca County.
We've been down that road a few times.
It's really nothing more than a storefront. And I think what we're going to see is some resolution to this. I mean, this is my opinion, but you know, if it was such a good deal for the Oneidas and the Mohawks, why weren't the Cayugas included? I think we're finding out it's really nothing to do with a reservation, nothing to do with casino gambling here in Seneca County.
I think you made a good point as well. The only people getting rich on this for the last several years are the lawyers.
Seems like the lawyers, politicians, and developers, they feed at it, and it just continues and continues. And sooner or later, we're going to have to pay those taxes that are due. And maybe that's the reason I wear that hat. But I really enjoy this new gig, this town chairman, just because, well, you can see from the excitement. We've got a good team in place. We've got good candidates in place. We're excited to do what's right for not only our county, but here in the town of Seneca Falls.
Brad Jones, longtime buddy, the chairman of the town of Republican Party, and we certainly wish him the best. And we thank you, Brad, for coming in. And we're going to take our commercial break and pay homage to our great sponsors to make this show possible. When we come back, I'll give a few shots out there in the world of sports. I got a few things on the dog's chest. I got to get rid of it. Be back in a minute. Welcome back, everybody. Weber this week. And again, thanks to Brad Jones for joining us for the topic on the Republican Party and his comments regarding the Cayuga Indian situation. But, you know, having sports in my blood, I needed to end my show, and I will do that on a weekly basis with a few sports comments. Enough already about the Buffalo Bills. You know, I've never been a Bills fan. Brad knows that. I've not liked them for 40 years, so it's not like I'm starting new. But I am reading the rags out of the Buffalo area, and Brad goes to Buffalo a lot. You would think they're the New England Patriots. Give me a break. And now we're talking about a new beginning. I know Ralph Wilson, the owner, is 116. He finally gave the power to a guy named Russ Brandon, real short guy. He's in control. Now you're getting fed the story. It's a new beginning. It's a new lease on life. Let me throw a few stats. Brad likes stats. First stat, they haven't had a playoff bid, and sometimes you get 8-8 into the playoffs. They haven't been there in 13 years. Stat one. Stat two, everybody talks about new beginning. They're going to turn it around. They've had a losing record 8 straight seasons, 8 in a row. Third fact, they say, oh, we got a new coach, Doogie Marrone out of Syracuse. Do you remember the names Dick Duran, Greg Williams, Chan Gailey? Those names hit you on the head. So, I mean, we've heard this before. Now we got a new GM, by the way, who I like. I met him about a year ago at a sports banquet, Doug Watley, nice young man. They finally got rid of Buddy Nix. And, of course, the coup de grace, as they say in regards to the Buffalo Bills story, is during the NFL draft, a quarterback out of Florida State, E.J. Manuel, was ranked 5th best quarterback in the country. That's not just coming from my lips. That's coming from across the globe who follows the world of college football athletes. E.J. Manuel was number 5. Where did the Bills pick him? First round. Need I say more? It's the same old, same old. I like what Brad likes to talk about. I want results. Let me see a 9-7 record this year or a 10-6 Bills record. I will walk in here with a glass of Coors Light and a pretzel and eat it and drink it in front of you and say you finally did it. But enough already. We've heard this before. A new beginning. 13 years without a playoff. 8 years with a losing record. Let me see results instead of talk. Let's switch to the NBA. The Miami Heat, everybody had them dead to rights, and they lose the opener of this best of 7 in the finals against the Spurs. Now we're 1-1 as the Heat took it to them last night, winning almost by 19, was it? 103-84. Don't discount LeBron and the Miami Heat. Even though the next 3 are in San Antonio, you got to figure the Heat's going to get at least one of them to bring it back to Miami. Should be an exciting series. Speaking of golf tournaments, Brad talked about the Republican Party. Let's give kudos to all the organizers of the famous Orange Pack supporting the Syracuse Orange sports programs. The Seneca Falls Country Club, where Jim is obviously a director and myself and Brad are members, we don't take enough credit. To the Bob Martins, the Bill Ryans, all of the folks, the Ken McLenithans, all the people involved in putting this tournament on, spectacular with a capital S. They're expecting 170 golfers today at the Seneca Falls Country Club. The trouble is they're expecting rain, so bring your umbrella if you're playing in the Orange Pack. But I need to send out kudos to all the people involved in putting that monstrosity of an event on. It is spectacular. I had a chance to play in it a couple of years ago. Nothing does better job than the folks that put on the Orange Pack event. And switching to baseball, I know Brad is smiling with his Boston Red Sox. They're playing good baseball. And who would have thought without a Jeter, without a Granderson, you got issues with A-Rod. Personally, I wish they would just sign him, pay him the check, give him $100 million. The Yankees can afford it, and say goodbye. They're looking at a possible suspension because of his drug use. Enough with him. I don't really care if he ever suits up again as a Yankee fan. But you got to give the Yankees credit. Nobody who follows baseball would have thought the Yankees would be where they are today with all of the losses of their big stars. So, interesting to note, the Yankees are playing good, the Red Sox are playing good, but then it takes me to my final comment, the New York Mets. Here we go again. Another season. Can you say one word? Irrelevant. Let me run that by again. Irrelevant. It's mid-June. To be exact, it's the 10th of June. How many games are the Mets out? I think 13 in the loss column. That is see ya. Goodbye. They got a good pitcher in Harvey. They got Wright at third. I can't believe he re-signed with the Mets. He could have gone to a contender. He stayed loyal. Good. Loyalty doesn't bring you championships. They don't bring you good baseball. They bring you mediocrity, and that's what the Mets are. They, in my opinion, are irrelevant. To my buddy Charlie, the owner of the Deluxe, to Frank Nietzsche, who's coming on this show next week, who's a diehard Mets fan. Forget about it. You guys are irrelevant. Thanks to Brad for joining us this morning. That's his Republican discussions along with the Indian discussions and a few shots from the dog, which will be a weekly feature. Speaking of weekly feature, this is the new show format, Weber This Week. Take care, everybody. Have a great week.